I was asking to go and involve myself in nature more. My instinctually, that's what I wanted to head towards, because I knew the West broke me. So I needed to get out of here and feel more. And so I was taken to trees, and I was taken to vegetation and the tree hugger thing, you know. I didn't one day go, that looks really cool, I'm gonna go and do that. Because you have this stigmatism of like, you know, tree huggers get in protests and all of this sort of stuff. You're fed this stuff. So anyway, I came here, hugged some trees. I was like, wow, this is so good.
Join the journey, stay for a while.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of KohPhanCast, the official podcast of Kopangan Island. And this week, I have a special one for you. It's my good friend Ross from Art Gallery here in Kopangan. Ross is a beautiful character. Ross is an artist. Ross is a drummer. Ross is a filmmaker. Ross recently published his movie Crystal Island that he filmed here on the island. And without further ado, guys, please share this video, subscribe to the channel, like this video, write in the comments what you liked about this conversation, and thank you so much. Let's do it.
I wonder how much Banksy did for me. In my mind.
How much?
Exactly how much?
How much, bro?
Not even money. Not even
A mental currency
mental
of
currency.
appreciation.
Yeah.
Ross, thank you so much for being here with me. We're already rolling. If
I can see that. I
Yeah.
heard the bleeps and the
you
buttons.
heard the blips
Yeah.
and the bloops, so just take it a little bit closer to you in the comfortable way.
All right.
And I'm super excited to have you here with me because I'm going to give you a couple reasons. Because the first time I went into your art gallery, I could feel that tranquility, you know, that's the word I chose to give it, sinking into my body, you know. And I know that because that you run this place, you gave this feeling to the place. So first of all, I want to say thank you in the name of myself and all the others that go to your place, that you created this bubble of amazing energy, that people can just be there to create art, to be involved in art. And thank you, bro. The second reason is because I heard a lot about you, and I also got some requests to bring you here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
People requested
Bro,
me.
you're a famous one.
Wow.
Yeah, you know that the energy and the name goes before you. You know, so first of all, again, thank you. And for the poor people that doesn't know you, can you please give me like a 30-second introduction to who is Ross? What is Ross? Where is Ross?
Okay, Ross is an alien.
Okay.
Didn't come from planet Earth.
Mm.
Parts of him may have, but most of it is probably from elsewhere. However, this alien of Ross does have a commitment to the human race. He sees that nature is extremely important. And he feels like the humans are forgetting about that a little bit, you know. And through his art, I think he wants to remind people that they are human and that being human is a special thing to be. And our connection with nature is right there, you know. So that's top line, how I'm my main message, I guess. And over the past 4 years, art has helped me understand what that message actually is. Before this, I filmed music my whole life. 15 years of filming intense drum and bass, rock, metal, running a company that also films 30, 50, 100,000 person festivals. We look after their media all year. I've done like Dimension when he was coming up, and now he's like one of the biggest British drum and bass artists, and Pendulum more lately. They're on a massive comeback. And so I've gone from this like life of filming, intense rock, and, you know, stood on stages in front of 8,000-10,000 people, Download Festival, more like a sea of people, like 30,000 people, you know. And then I come now to this tropical island, and I've got my space, and artists can come in, and it's just the complete opposite.
Art gallery. I'm gonna put it there.
Art gallery,
Yeah.
open art studio. Yeah, I live there, but it's my home that you can just walk into and make yours. And I think that's the energy that you're feeling. Is,
Bro, honestly,
you're invited.
yeah, you do feel invited, and like the same exact energy that I feel there, I feel here with you, because it's not centered around a place. You know, the energy is centered around someone that can hold this type of energy, and this is the dude. And you started this introduction with something super big and impactful for you and I as well. Why do you think that we kind of starting or in the midst of forgetting how important nature is, and why are we so disconnected?
Because we're hungry for evolution, but I think that it's you know, we try and survive, right? Every day we try and survive, and there's different things that comes in and maybe tries to block our survival in whatever way. And there's all these parts of ourselves that gets affected. If human consciousness is one, then as a species, we're gonna get scared about dying. And
Death.
And yeah, the human race are vanishing. So I think that people look at tech and look at all of this stuff like, yeah, we need to go to Mars and things like this. I'm not saying we don't at all. I like Elon Musk.
Yeah.
But if we forget what brought us here, Mother, if we neglect her, like, you know, it's and she wants us to be free, but we need to respect her back.
Definitely, because she made us, and at the end of the day, like, honestly, I cannot even see like the way we forget the outside that brought us here, but we already forgetting also the inside that we are. You know what I mean? I mean, in the fact that like we cannot forget the outside circumstances without shutting down some parts of ourselves, you know, and we are so focused on progressing and going further and further that we do forget also this part of ourselves, the intimacy that we have between us to ourselves, the sacred space that is being a human. Like, why are we even coming here, you know? And we think like we progress because those are the founding blocks that the elite, or whatever you want to call it, are putting there for us to think that those are the values that we do need to excel in order to get to the next best place. But we forget how important it is to just love ourselves, love the surroundings, appreciate, respect, you know, and we are willing to give up on all those extremely valuable emotions and state of consciousness just to get the next best iPhone, or just to... I don't really understand it also, and I think you're at the same spot. But what are the things that you, as Ross, this super crazy alien out there, what are the things that are connecting you back into the source, back into nature, back into your conscious self?
When I arrived on KohPhanCast, this a journey into calm presented itself. I'd been like 25 festivals a year, summer through to winter skiing festivals and things like this. And throughout the summer, it would just be dun every weekend. And I take teams, and sometimes I've got 4 teams out in different festivals, right? It's just too fast. And that's just me doing my thing. There are other people doing so much and filling their lives so much in the West. When I got here, I realized I didn't know shit.
Yeah.
And my mind was on fire, and the rest of my body was just following suit. And it felt great to be earning money and and seeing myself rise. But was the internal dialogue good? Was the feelings, or the feelings whole? Am I really investing myself in being on planet Earth? And you know, and sure, I'm flying around filming events, but like, that's so outside. And then once the dialogue began, really noticing how I was talking to myself, and this separation, to come back together, I had to really separate and look at my busyness and go, yo, calm down. Like, calm down. The only way I knew that I had to calm down was burnout, depression, you know, taking ourselves to the bottomless pit, to be able to rise back up. And I know how to calm down now. And that's what this initial journey into calm was about. Filmmaking and the medium of film has helped me connect and understand nature way more, because it's a language I use, and I'm sure we'll talk about my film Crystal Island.
Definitely.
I'm just not interested in the blah blah blah, because the blah 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 is the coachy teaching you stuff that, where does it come from? What have I actually got to teach people? I want to show people and help them feel things so that they can create their narrative, because that's what leads to real change. Unless you're someone like Stephen Fry who's got a crazy mind and you read everything and you just know what it is 10 months later, you know.
Yeah.
You've got one, isn't it? My language and communication is through film, so it's really helped me portray how I feel about nature and humans in a like very tasteful and visual way for people. So that's my communication and my language, and that's what's helped me the most.
And guide me through the period that, okay, you're the busiest guy alive. You're doing 25 festivals every 7 minutes. You're going around doing whatever you can. Was it there to distract yourself from something, or did you actually enjoy it, or were you trying just to fill like an empty space in you? Like, what makes someone go the fastest they can, and when was the moment that you understood that, like, whoa, I'm kind of out there?
I remember having a paper round, getting paid, say, €10 a week for delivering about 500 papers. Like, the maths on that is... And my dad still made me pay for my contract from my phone. He drove me to a place where I knew that I had to work for money and things like this. So at the time, that might have felt unfair, as my sister may have got her contract paid for her. But I just learned that you just got to put in the work to get the result. This is where my drive came from, and it doesn't matter what project it is. If I feel excitement for it, I'm gonna choose to be 100% in or 100% out first. Then when I've got my commitment and passion in line, it's gonna take me like 30 seconds to decide if I'm gonna do something, and then I'm doing it. There's always an action with me behind the theory. There's the pro of that is I've done very well. I action things. I make loads of mistakes, and I've just learned to love making mistakes.
Yeah.
My first £2,000 that I ever earned, I sent to China to get these brand new hoodies in. I made £2,000 basically from my clothing line. I was like 22. And I dropped it all on these amazing hoodies that I had manufactured and designed. And then the Chinese company got hacked and someone got on their emails and made me a fake invoice pretending to be them and said, send us the money. So I sent them $2,000 and they were like, yeah, this hasn't showed up.
Yeah.
So bouncing back from that has been, was hard at the time, but I'm never going to make that mistake again. I'm double checking everything.
Yeah. No, you cannot promise that you will not do mistakes, but you can say that you will do every mistake tops once. Mistakes is human.
Otherwise it becomes a pattern.
Yeah.
Then you got to start looking. Why am I doing that again and again and again and again? That hurts. How much suffering am I going to create for myself over this particular thing and other people?
Yeah, you just need to be able to be mindly flexible, not to get too harsh on yourself, as easy to say as hard to do, yeah? But not to get too harsh with yourself and just be able to be comfortable in your mistakes and understand that it's part of the learning of being a human. We cannot judge ourselves too harshly because we're not a finished product. We're an everlasting project that you will get change and better. Like the only thing that is truly engraved in reality is that things are going to constantly change. So the moment you understand that all you have basically is change, then you learn to ride those waves of change, and you can just actually be yourself, what you want to be, and how came the idea of shifting the perspective from doing all those shows and things and festivals to go to a more slower kind of chill lifestyle?
I think I had to do it to survive, to rest my mind. Space. Space is like my number one. It creates so much happiness for me if the space is correct. Not correct, but if it allows me to move and be accepted and feel these things.
When you say space, you mean a physical space or?
Yeah, yes and no. You could be locked in a cupboard, but if you feel good there, if that's what you want at that moment, and you're in the mood, the cupboard's the best thing for you. Yeah. 2 foot by 2 foot or something, you might be stood up.
Sounds like a pleasure to me.
But what you might come out of that cupboard with could be something massive. Maybe you need some isolation time on your own and some dark. Maybe you need the complete opposite. Maybe you need to be stood in the middle of the sea with absolutely no one else around you, just to get the clarification that you need. And I knew this at school. Those classrooms and those spaces with all that other energy and all those other kids. And if the teacher couldn't hold it down and hold the space, the classroom was chaos.
Yeah.
I didn't learn. So the space is one of the most valuable things. And I have cupboards in London that I love, but it doesn't feed the creative angel and demons inside me that need to express themselves. Yeah. London, I think, does the demon really good. And I can also alchemize that into things that are into a lot of the work I do in London. That demon can come through. Less of the light. Here, like where I've got expansive space and everything, I can really work with this. And thus having a 90-minute feature film created. I wouldn't have done that in London. If I'd have been in London for this time I've been in here, I might have done some other cool whatever stuff.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been a 90-minute feature film. I can tell you that.
Yeah, this island has this, I don't want to blame it on crystals or this or that, but something about this space, if we're talking in your terms, this space can hold amazing spirits to just, and when you accept it, like, how long have you been here on the island?
5 years.
5 years. So you probably have seen a lot of people that comes and goes, and like some people are meant to be here and some people that aren't, just push them outside. And this island has the idea for itself to just be able to expand energy, to create. It's like a magnifying glasses on habits. Your good habits will get better and your bad habits will only get worse. It's the exact reflection a person needs to have on himself, through himself, to get to the right place. And we'll slowly get to your movie because I do want to talk about it. When was the first time you decided, okay, I'm going to film something, I want to express myself through that? And how did it feel to create something in this route of creation, of art?
I mentioned school was quite shit.
Yeah.
The government built a technology center at my school to help the grades of everyone get better.
Mm-hmm.
So I got some, I made a little scene and I put a monkey with some plaster seam and I made it run around, and I think it told a story. I hope. I won. And I won $200 for me and my mum to go food shopping. It was big.
Yeah.
Like I could finally give back to my mum, who's, been there for me my whole life, that far. So that felt really good. That was the moment of the first time I was consciously creative, I think. What was the question again?
About the first time you felt something. How did it make you feel?
Yeah, okay. I got to college and I started to do music videos. We had a really cool college tutor. On Thursdays, he made us watch very weird films, like 3-hour Japanese epic films, or like Gin Jarmusch, or Coffee and Cigarettes, which is just two famous actors coming together, drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, and it's the conversation that they have, which is the magic thing. It was podcasts before podcasts were podcasts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I learned a lot from these Thursday afternoons, and that was where I made a music video. I think it was a Fatboy Slim track. And cutting that together, that was my first taste of, oh, this is my energy. Like, I'm editing and filming now at a pace where this is perfect to me and I'm in control. So all those music videos you watch, and some of them you really get into, some of them just go over. I made something where I was like so stoked on it, and it was fast cut, and I was like, I want to do this. This is my energy. And so since that, the creativity for all of the festival films and everything else, it's quick, it's transitions, it's vroom, vroom, vroom. And in England, we were the first ones really bringing that to the scene. And all the filmmakers wanted to work for Entirety, and all the festivals at one point would have had us. It was such a nice place to be at, just to capture this moment of like music and speed and doing it for these live shows. Yeah, it was good.
That's beautiful. And did you already at this period thought, okay, that's my profession, that's what I'm going to do professionally, that's what I'm going to pursue?
After I finished uni, I went, Ross, what do you like doing? Because you're going to be in a boring dead-ass fucking job for the rest of your life. Yeah. So you love filming, right? You've got a degree now in filmmaking, so you're going to make films. You love music. You don't make music, but you appreciate it. So I can film music, right? And then what else do I like? Okay, snowboarding, skiing. I can film that too.
Yeah.
So I spent 3 years making connections and going with ski travel tour operators with thousands of students in the Alps, filming their adventures and their journey, going to the Bristol's biggest nightclub and getting one of the contracts with them and doing all of their media for 1.5 years, like in a big warehouse. I got very comfortable at filming dark nights, big like bass music, and it just turned me on. I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do. And that moment where I needed to find a real job never came. the jobs kept coming. The mouths kept talking after I did a job, and they just kept coming and coming. It's also, don't get videography is different from filmmaking, and there's a filmmaking is your own thing that you want to do personally, or making film movie level. Videography, everyone wants videos now.
Yeah.
So my videographer life just went fun. But then I forgot almost I'm a filmmaker, and I'd make little things. If I'd go on a holiday with a girlfriend, I'd make a wicked film of me and of our journey, you know, just share it with her, maybe put it public. But that was what I loved to do, these personal films. And then I came to the, like, am I a videographer? Am I a filmmaker? And I realized, and I looked, and I came to the conclusion there's a big difference. So
What is the difference?
The difference is a filmmaker, it's coming internally out. The videographer, a client comes in and books you. You're in service. You're in service to someone else to create a video. As a filmmaker, a film, more like cinema style, Tarantino's brain, you know, this kind of thing. They're coming from his kinks and all of his, you know, we talk about his demons, and his light also.
Some weird shit going on.
Right?
There. Yeah.
And that's filmmaking. Quentin Tarantino isn't a videographer. He's a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And so many other brackets can come under filmmaking. Videographer, I'm holding a camera and I'm going out and filming. Filmmaker, I'm the producer, I'm the director, I'm doing a lot of things. Even if you've got a whole team involved, you're still doing stuff that other people are doing.
So let me put it in my words, okay? For you, as I see you, the main difference between filmmaking and videography is the creative control that you have over what you're doing. I don't know if control is the right word, but like creating for a purpose that is involving you.
Yeah, message.
You know, you always want the creation that you make to resonate with something that you have in your heart as a creator, as an artist. And let's take the broadest question ever. What is art for you? What is art, man?
What is art?
What is art, man?
Could you say anger is art?
I could say that anger is art. Depends on where you take it. Depends on how you choose to express the way your anger is coming out. Because anger can, you know, how can you use anger for art? You can maybe make like all those places, you know, that you take a baseball bat and you can hit microwaves and shit. You know, that's cool as fuck. For me, this is art. The release of anger. And how else can you take your anger? You can scream and yell into a microphone, and in audio editing can shift it to like a synthesizer making something, and there's so many ways to express yourself. And I think that every angle of the 360 degrees angles of what being a human is can be expressed in art. Which leads me back to my question, Ross. What is art for you?
Yeah, it's a medium of expression, which is extremely important. We're so locked on to this. And art is a channel in which we can discuss things in other ways. Like I was saying, that narrative, someone talks a bunch of words at you, it's words are already, you know, they have their own artistic medium. But in this case study, there's a lot of other ways you can say things. And, you know, even someone says I'm not artistic, they come into the spirit house all the time. So, I'm not good at art.
They say?
Yeah, man, it's like the good and bad thing.
As
People
a
like...
person came to you into your art gallery and told you, listen, bro, that's all bullshit.
Oh, I don't specifically mean this.
Yeah.
And actually, we don't get that anymore. because
Why would you get it?
because before it was, I think people could appreciate it, but what we had was when there was no paintings, it was photos. It's a photography gallery.
Mm-hmm.
People would, is it just photos? Like, is that what this place is? And it's like, yeah, can you look deeper at the photos? Can you see what we're trying to say through these images? And some people couldn't. They really like things that are done by, you know.
Just to see effort. Some people resemble like effort with success. And
Yeah.
the fact that it came naturally, I've just done it, doesn't mean that it's not revolving in art or in passion or whatever. And as I see art, I think that art, honestly, everything is art when you choose to look at everything as art, you know? If you have art in your soul and you have art in your vision, everything that you're going to create will be art, and everything that you're going to see is art. Like everything, perspective is in the eye of the beholder, you know? So if you don't have it inside of you, okay, you will probably not see it outside as well.
Yeah. And you said in the eye of the beholder. I've learned a medium of iris photography. Let's talk about that. And wow, if you want to talk about art and what is art, look into your friend's eyes, look into your mama's eyes. It's crazy how unique we all are in this particular way.
And when I came into your studio last time to chase you to do this, I've seen the art of the eyes, and it's beautiful, you know, because such a, you know, small thing that all of us has eyes, but suddenly you get a full picture of it and you're like, oh shit. It shows you that so many small things that's as such a amazing depth to them that, again, only if you choose to look, you will be able to see.
Exactly. And this is something we look out of. We don't even know what they look like.
Yeah.
Like, it's we're looking out of them all the time, and
and this fucking thing that we have between us and other people, like eye contact and things like that, that's so magical, you know. I love staring people in their eyes, but I'm never the first one to turn away, you know. And so many people are not even used to it. It's like getting uncomfortable for people to look other people in the eyes, which is crazy to me, because that's the human connection. Like, other than the things that life brought on us, our language, our country, border, whatever, belief system, we're exactly the same. We're the same baby that came here to this world not knowing anything, fully innocent. And the only difference is what we got taught.
Yeah.
You know, so me looking you in the eyes is me looking myself in the eyes. So if I'm not comfortable looking at you, how can I be comfortable looking at myself?
I'd be so interested to know if, like, 50 years ago there was more eye contact than there is now, and if technology and all of this stuff has taken us away, and the anxiety and everything else, or has it always
good research.
Always been there as a human condition. No matter what, we've got problems to focus on. Like, maybe people feel anxious for so many reasons, but I wonder what tech is doing.
Well, I can probably rightfully guess that the eye contact level went super down because we are all stuck like that. And like, at least we have the ability to use that for good purposes.
Yeah.
You know, to distribute art, to help others, to, you know, for me to create this is my life purpose. I just want people to be able to look at people like you, like all my other guests that have this unique perspective of life, and maybe just draw something from it. You know, just be able to understand that the fact that I see life from my own eyes doesn't make my perspective either the best or the only one. You know, just the broader perspective of things, the ability to look at your thoughts and not identify with them, and understand that, like, okay, the things that going on my mind, are not mine. It's an eternal stream of consciousness, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, that we all share. But if we would just be a little bit more honest with each other and vulnerable to speak our mind and be able to understand that it's all exactly the same. We all going through the same emotions. We all have the same situations, but we all know different names to call it. You know? And I think that you're doing a great job with it, with your welcoming to your gallery and everything, because they get inside that everybody is equal. Everybody has the same pens. Everybody can draw whatever they want. Nobody is special. Nobody is unique, because everybody is.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing that you created, and I really appreciate you for it. And let's get more specific into the movie. But let's start from before the movie. How did you get to the point that you told yourself, okay, I'm going to make a full feature. I'm going to make a film. Where came the idea from?
I wanted to. It's this filmmaker vibe that got ignited, right? And I was like, I got a message. I need to film nature. I know that. I knew that when I was in England. I just needed to film nature. So my inside was calling to do this. And then when I got here, I was like, right, film nature. It seemed so simple when I was not here.
Yeah.
And then I was like, right, what the fuck does that mean? You know? Sure, I'll go out and film some leaves and some bugs, see things like this. But like, how does that lead to a 90-minute film? Right? And at this point, I wasn't really that interested in humans. It was just a nature thing. And then I felt, because of my own experience in how I felt nature through going out and filming in it like every day through COVID, I realized how much it was giving me. And just because I was filming it, I think film was an excuse. Actually, I was asking to go and involve myself in nature more. My instinctually, that's what I wanted to head towards, because I knew the West broke me. So I needed to get out of here and feel more. And so I was taken to trees, and I was taken to vegetation and the tree hugger thing, you know. I didn't one day go, that looks really cool, I'm gonna go and do that. Because you have this stigmatism of like, you know, tree huggers get in protests and all of this sort of stuff. You're fed this stuff. So anyway, I came here, hugged some trees. I was like, wow, this is so good. This is space. This is nurturing my being. And I'm walking barefoot in the forest. So happy doing this.
Yeah.
And there's not a single volt of electricity in sight. So, like, damn, I just felt that and started filming with that feeling more. Then it got windy, and I started to film like in the jungle, and it was nice when I went out, and then it gets super windy, and then I'm like, well, I film the wind. It's like dances, all the trees are dancing. And then the thing that kicked it off was water. I used to get in the shower, and always happened, I'm like an antenna. When I get in the shower, all the ideas come, all of like what I need to do in a relationship, clear. It just does that. And then seeing on a tropical island, like, which is small, right? You can see all around. You see what the moon does with the water properly.
Yeah.
And then out here, a lot of the menstrual cycle and women being very close to their bodies.
Yeah.
They all go through this similar thing, like near enough at the exact same time of the month, when the moon and the water. I'm like, we're made of 88.9 or whatever it is percent of water.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, this is nature, and I want to know what's going on here. So I decided to film the water cycle, so being sucked up from the sea, as it does condensates, come up into the clouds, and then comes up over the mountains. I'm like, how am I going to film that, right? Time lapse.
Yeah.
So I started for the first time ever to time lapse. I've done a few before, but like consistently over a year, like spend nights on top of mountains and in temples and things and film water
The
come up.
rise of water.
Yeah. Go up over the mountains we have and then drop. And so you had the initial stage then, and then it drops, and then I went out and filmed the rain. The monsoon season came and I was filming in the rain. I had an umbrella, tucked 2 belts around me with an umbrella up there, just like filming, going out like I'm
Full
up
on National Geographic.
crazy. Yeah, I went full on National Geographic mode. And then the rain falls, and then where does it go? It gets collected, comes down in these avenues, which we call waterfalls and rivers and things like this, creeks. So I went and found all of those that I could, and started to run the drone down them slow and fast and get close to the water flowing through. And when it hits this rock, what does it look like? Does it create a shape that I've seen before in something else? You know, like it's just. So that was extremely explorative. And then it runs out into the sea, and there's calmness again. So it goes through this whole cycle of chaos and calm.
Life. How can you film something that is not nature? Going back to the first thing that we opened this episode with, the fact that we are getting disconnected from nature, but we cannot escape the fact that we are nature as well. You know, that nature created us, and where we came from is exactly where we're gonna go back to. And this connection, yeah, it's fucking crazy, because we do need to understand that everything came from nature and everything is going back to nature. And this movie that you've made, it had a script. It was like, what was the style of it?
It's got 5 chapters.
Yeah.
The cycles is the first one.
Yeah.
Showing not just the water cycle, but the human cycle too. And then you've got the heart, which is the heart of the island. It's Thai, Falang, which is us, Burmese, all working together as a community, and what actually goes on within the culture to help a community be. And then we've got the ecology, the environment, how it works, what goes on. That's beautiful surrounding nature, but also sustainability and how things are being fucked up, such as not just building like 1 house or 2, which is ethically thought of with wood and water systems. It's people that are building concrete places, not 1, 2, but 15, badly, just to make money.
Yeah.
Destroying the place which they once thought was the most beautiful in the world, becoming part of the problem.
Yeah. The westernization.
How I haven't got, especially with the people I live with in London, in a warehouse with 16 people, like 3 of them are graffiti artists, how I haven't got a can and done what I've been such a good boy here.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I channeled it into my filmmaking instead, and I've made an episode about this. Then it's medicine. Things like dance. Dance is a medicine. Movement. Psychedelics. All these things we can use to
broaden the perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get out of our self-centeredness and more into like the one. And then transformation. And transformation was the first episode. It was the pilot. It was the first one I ever did. But through the way the film progressed, it clearly became the end. You need to experience all of this shit before you can go through the transformation and find the right. Being first didn't make much sense, even though it was the first one I finished. And I sent that one to film festivals in 2022. After I ran a premiere here and 120 people came. And I put that out to festivals, and it won Best Dance Film, Best Soundtrack, selected 3 festivals. One was Venice, one was Venezuela, I think I entered randomly and won something. So it was like, like I can actually make something and get the validation of winning some certificates and awards and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, cool. That really spurred me on to do the other 4. I really knew that I had the other 4 in me. And and then you got the whole 5.
What was the purpose behind the film? What intention did you put in it? What message did you want?
Reconnecting humans with nature.
Yeah.
And through that, they will find themselves. I didn't need to do this to find yourself. It was more like, here's a presentation of how you can connect to nature, how you can notice the details.
That's not real.
I know. Yeah. It doesn't it's still a detail. Do you know it's real or not, even?
Do you want to get philosophical about the plant, or do you want me to tell you it's a plastic plant?
Less of this, but more of on a broader. You walk into a cafe or something else. Like, what do you notice about the place that you're gonna be at?
I notice if there's like plants, environment and shit, and you notice like the way the light is like put, and you can see if someone made some thoughts inside the design of something or not. You can see if someone put their heart and soul into something or not.
Or just bought it all off of Amazon or Lazada,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. When I go into a place in a cafe and the outside, I'm like, oh, fuck, a new place. This looks cool. I go in, I'm like, this was easy to put together, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the exterior shell of something which could have been someone's personality and things like this. You know, sure, it's their taste, but it's all come from one place. That's the other thing about Spirit House Gallery. It's like everything I've chose from, things that I really like and can taste in other places, and I think that's in there. That taste. It's nice. Art also taste.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And like you said, I think that it's a shame when someone is doing something and through the eyes of an artist, you can see that there could be more soul put inside, but there's not. But I think it super depends on, again, like I asked you before, that what was the purpose? Like, if the purpose of the guy is to make money based on the place, so he will for sure spend as much money as he can to create the purpose. But I think that truly, if all of us would start looking a little bit more about the purpose about the intention that we want to bring in our actions.
Yeah.
Not even think about what I'm thinking or feeling right now, but what the feeling or the thought that I have right now is going to create next. What is it that I want to create by me thinking or feeling? Because only thinking or feeling the thought, it's kind of narrow. We're at the point of humanism that we can do a little bit more. We can share a little bit more. We can be a little bit more vulnerable with our surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It can be pretty easy. And how did you feel after, because I've seen that you've made the premiere over here, really close, and I see the little friend of mine went there, and I was like, how did it feel after all these years of creation, suddenly sitting there, people enjoying it? How was the reactions? Guide me a little bit through that.
To see Crystal Island on a big screen and with speakers also, like, I've spent a lot of time on the sound design. A lot. If you look at the timeline on Premiere, you've got layers of colors and all of this, on the visual side.
Yeah.
Underneath
the iceberg.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, totally an iceberg situation. And wow, and to get proper speakers in.
You've done everything? Editing, audio editing, everything?
I tried to work on getting a sound designer and colorist, but at the end of the day, I mean, I just went in on this one. That's why it took 5 years to make. So, it's nice because it means that I understand that there's other professionals out there that could do a way better job than me.
But they couldn't do the exact thing
they couldn't do
that you've seen.
Yeah.
They couldn't share the vision that you saw in it. And of course, they could have done something better, but they couldn't replicate your energy because your energy is only yours.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it could have been seen.
Yeah, and it came to the point where this film was just so personal that I had to do all of those bits.
Yeah. And how was the reviews? What do people think?
People really respond to it well. I think it's the fact I'm not preaching, making a documentary where it's completely left up to the viewer. I think even documentaries that have a whole lot of words in throughout, like Louis Theroux, for example,
Yeah.
you could say he's biased, but actually he gives such a nice, unbiased, in my point of view, he gives such a nice, unbiased presentation of what he's working on. He does it in his own way, for sure, but I just like not telling people what to do and just letting them figure it out. And this is the feedback I've received. That's big. That's really big for people. And I'm so glad it comes off. I got more on this. Oh.
Take your time, bro.
I just can't wait to see how it does now with film festivals.
Where can we see it?
Because it's being entered into film festivals now.
Yeah.
I messaged a couple more today that I want, like Austin, and I really want to. I really wonder what this can do now in its full form. I entered the one before and got a lot of recognition from it, which was great. But I really wonder what the full thing, how that's received. From a world where they're not into dancing every day and living like we do here. People away from the tropical island it was filmed on, because the whole thing was filmed on a tropical island, right? It's I use this as the playground, and it's not here to promote the place. A lot of people that watch it actually probably won't. People that aren't maybe ready to watch it, actually, like, it's hard for them. It's intense at some points, and I think it speaks to less to adults, actually. Adults that are open, very, very open, can bring it in, and I think they really appreciate it. But because it's so fast moving and I cover such a lot of things, there's so many scenes. I wonder actually if you count how many scenes there are. I should do that, because that statistic might be like 50 scenes.
There might be an AI tool that does it for you.
Could be. I ain't gonna use it though. I'm gonna count on my own. But I think kids with more of a goldfish TikTok kind of view on the world are gonna love it, because it's like this now, this now, this now, this now, this now, this now. Oh, we're here now. Oh, we're here now. Oh, we're here now. It's cool like that. It feels like one thing, but actually it's so many different things. I think that's what I want to do. I'm not here to inspire the older generation. They know already we should be closer with nature.
Yeah.
It's the goldfish we've got to try and like convince otherwise, or just not convince, but let them know that, like.
Yeah, but I want to give them some credit, because I think that what has changed is not the generation itself. I think what has changed is the extremism of the polars of the generations. You know, like, if I could say on my generations or your or whatever, that we kind of were in it, the technology, and kind of not. So now it's splitting between those that are super into technology and TikTok and goldfish, and those that completely understand that it's super fucked and we don't need it. So you can see a lot of 12, 13, 14-year-old boys and girls going around the world, living here, living wherever they live, not caring about social media, not caring about what other thinks about them. Because I met a couple of them, and like 13, 14-year-old boy that knows 4 languages, that want to change the world. So we gotta give them some credit, because they are the future at the end of the day. I might only be 30, but they're in 17 years gonna know so much more than I do. You know, I'm 30 and I have no fucking clue what's going on. And the more I progress in life, I understand how much I don't understand anything. You know, and suddenly comes a generation that, like, not only they know what they want, they're willing to the percentage of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just
Totally.
I don't really like this way that we as a little bit more grown up, you know, saying, oh no, these new kids, it's exactly like our parents told about us and how our grandparents told about them, and like this cycle of, oh, it's new, it's not good. It needs to break at some point, you know, because we need to appreciate, because of the things that we are saying, they take us for granted, that they take us for what we're not. Oh, they're just old, they're just this, they're just that. We need to appreciate the little motherfuckers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but not the...
No, not the golden fish, TikTok.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but the dumbass shit that I'm seeing...
Yeah. Trust me. I'm trying not to see that. The stupid shit that's going around here, because it's just frustrating. You know, because we have so much depth to life and we have so much amazing things to discover. But you cannot, and I emphasize it, you cannot experience the beautiful realms of life with screen time of 23 hours and 58 minutes. You know, you cannot. You gotta get your eyes out there. You gotta be scared. You gotta fear for your life sometimes. You gotta not know how you're gonna survive 2 days up front.
Yes.
You gotta know that, like, oh, my fucking battery in my phone can die and I will not have a heart attack because I'm gonna be good. You know, but I don't think it's a matter of age. I think it's a matter of education, a matter of perspective, a matter of just self-exploring, you know? Are you bored enough to go and explore yourself? Or are you gonna roll through another reel? You know, are you gonna do that? Or are you gonna close your phone and do something with yourself?
Yeah.
And honestly, if I want to trust life as it is and want to say that life is perfect and everything has a meaning and everything has a purpose, and if I still didn't discover the purpose, it means that it's coming my way. And all I need to continue doing is being the best version of myself, have good heart, have pure intentions, and all the rest gonna reveal itself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
At the base of it.
Well, and while we're on this, like, the fact that phones, a couple walked in the other day.
Okay.
And they were looking at the art and they were like, wow, like, what gave you the inspiration to do all of these, like, to draw these, like, alien cells and cartoons and stuff, right?
Which I want to talk about.
Yeah, I'll show some. And they questioned me on this. And I said, well, it was my birthday. I was, I think, 29 years old or 30 years old. And I had to organize my birthday party. I promised myself I wouldn't do another birthday party. I did. And then my phone in the morning stopped connecting to Wi-Fi, and the reception stopped. The antenna basically went in it.
Yeah.
So I literally couldn't use it anymore.
Yeah, it's a brick now.
It turned into a brick. So I was like, right, I don't need this brick for now. I've got to organize a whole party tonight, but it's let me down. So this is the last time for a while. I'm going to put this in a drawer, and until I need to fix it or get a new one, I'm out. And I lasted 11 months.
Shit. Whoo, 11 months without your phone?
I moved everyone and everything onto Facebook Messenger, and I used my laptop. So when I had my laptop open, it would be my communication channel to people. Otherwise, like, that was it.
That's beautiful.
It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, like, we eat here a lot, right? We eat on our own a lot. Sure, we got friends too, right?
Here
But-
and there. Here and there.
So then I started to take I was like, what do I do instead of, like, you know, getting my phone out and things like this? I took a pad and some pens and I started to just draw. Scribble. And I didn't know what I was doing at that point. But after a month or two, I was like, what are these creatures that I seem to be drawing and this style that enveloped? And I couldn't help but love it and like it a lot. And so I kept doing more. And then I found Posca pens, the acrylic paint pens. And then they gave me, you know, I don't know how to paint, right, with a brush. And it seems like if you got a A4, A3 like this, how are you going to paint all of that. But with Posca pens, I could just go fine in the line, and it was so meditative and so explorative. I was exploring on every one because I never knew what I was going to do, and then suddenly this A4 page would be like this monster coming in from one place and out of the other, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, that's a relationship I'm in right now. Like, that's how I feel, actually. It means this. And I was like, oh, right. So then I started to do more and more, and within a year I had like 20 pieces, and I could just see a story through it, the whole of them. And I was like, these are the cells. Like, I never know what I'm doing when I go into them, so is this actually the cells talking through me? Like, they want to dance, and there's like a whole A4 I've done of these like cells dancing, you know?
Come on, pull it out. Pull it out. They want to see as well. They don't know what you're talking about. This is your camera.
I brought some prints and I brought some originals, so I'll show you the originals. Where should I hold it up? Like,
This is your camera. I'm gonna do the zooms and everything, so you can just show it, and all the rest is on me.
All right, cool. So I've called it the Book of Spirits, and this is the front page to the book, which will be
That's beautiful.
which will be coming out really soon. I've done a book, and I've written it in the style that I'm a 9-year-old.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
the drawings like are they might be quite cartoony, you know, there's details and they're deep, but it's definitely my inner child at work for sure. It's like an inner child comes out and then my adult finishes it, you know? It's a beautiful fusion of both.
It's a connection between you and yourself.
Yeah, all the parts of me, I guess, are seen in this. This one I really love. It's the Dawn of Time. A lot of what I draw is this moving upwards as we evolve. Start somewhere down here, perhaps, and then make our way up. They've all got this kind of vibe. This is another one where you can see it. It's through the eye. It's it can be symbolized from the third eye. You come up and reach a place. This is understanding and harnessing your own darkness.
The Makaba.
Yeah. And how you can let things affect you and how not, and then understanding it's the paths you can take, and how you can journey up through, and you just come out again on the other side, and you do the same thing again, essentially.
That's amazing, man.
So I've probably got like 50 pieces now, and they're on the wall at the gallery, and shit, I mean, you want to talk about like not having a phone for 11 months and what that can bring?
That's cool as fuck, man. So I've done it the most I was without my phone was probably when I've done Vipassana. And like the moment I went out of the Vipassana, you get your phone in your hand, and it was so fucking weird, you know? It was the weirdest shit. Oh my God, it's beautiful. It was so weird for me. So after 11 months, how does it feel to actually take it back to your hands? And that's weird. That's overwhelming.
Bro, within 3 days, I was it never left me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a problem, how addictive it is truly to have everything. Like, do you know that this little moment when you go in the store and there is someone else coming towards your way and you find yourself just taking your phone out, not even looking at it, but something about just holding the motherfucker makes you feel more secured. What is this? You know, where does this come from? That's bullshit.
That'd be bullshit.
That's massive piles of bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, and just show how much control they have over us. I hate this they, but it's they.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I actually, if I'm in a scenario, like you just said, I know it's conceptual, but you have someone walking before you in a store, I would look at what t-shirt they're wearing. I would probably catch, like, if they're smiling or not, and if they're not, am I in the mood to make them smile?
yeah.
Stick my tongue out at them, make them just do this like this, you know?
Yeah.
And have them walk away, and maybe they thought, I was quite playful with this guy, even though I don't see their reaction or don't even want a reaction from them in front of me. It's kind of like, can I leave an ounce of something positive with them for their day? that's what I
That's the way to go. I'm an
really
overthinker.
love.
I'm consistently in my thoughts, consistently like on the verge of like black smoke coming out of my ears. This kind of a thinker, you know? So, but it also comes with periods. If I want to be completely honest and I want to be completely vulnerable about it, how I feel about myself is a direct cause of how I'm going to treat others, how I'm going to think I'm going to be treated by others, you know, how I see myself in like a peak to the mind of all. Okay, I'm not good enough. Nothing I do will ever be enough. Or like I can try, it's funny, but this imposter.
Where'd you get it from?
Where did I get it from? My whole life is me wanting to be the person that I needed when I had no one. You know, so it brought me a beautiful gift of empathy and less of self-centered, and I really like helping others, but maybe to a toxic level of like I would care about others way more than I care about myself or my boundaries or what I like or what I think, you know. So putting myself in the second or third or thousand place is not out of the equation, you know. So I'm keeping like reminding myself again and again that I'm not that guy anymore, and that I am loved, and that people do appreciate me, and that I do great things. But something about my mind just can't register it, you know, because I can have the best episode ever with Ross and go and have fun editing it and everything will be okay. But the moment I click publish, I'm already at like, fuck, next guest. Fuck, I need to do, fuck, you know, and I know that 30% of it is kind of good. It's keeping me on my toes, like running. But 70% of it is pure toxicity towards myself. So all I can do is talk about it and allow myself to just experience it. I'm not mad at myself for that. I'm not angry at myself. I'm not disappointed at myself. It is what it is. It's a mental programming that I got when I was younger. And the more I will talk about it, the more I will have the possibility to change it.
Nice.
You know?
Yeah. That's why I asked you where you got it from.
Yeah. You know? Exactly.
Helps, doesn't it?
Yeah. Ross, I want to thank you so much for coming here. I knew we were going to have a lot of fun, and we did. And again, like I started, I want to finish it. Your ability to provide space for people to just feel themselves, to not take things too seriously, to just be able to create and absorb. And there is something about you that lets others put out their inner child up front and feel okay with it. So whatever you're doing there, continue doing it. Because it's beautiful, it's amazing. I cannot stop people talk about you. So you're doing something right. And I love you a lot, brother. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks so much for having me, man.
Definitely. KohPhanCast, guys.
Join the journey, stay for a while.